let's talk UW basketball. Lacey, take it away.
Oh, I'm taking it away.
Yeah.
Come on, Lace. Lead us.
Producer's going to sit back and enjoy this chat.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a very enjoyable one.
No, it's not. I actually have been able to catch up with UW men's basketball over J-term break. I had some free time, so I was able to watch a couple games.
You had some friends over, too, for the USC game, didn't you?
That's right. I had the Winters over. DJ here and his little brother Brady were over for that game.
Yeah.
Fun one.
I'm sorry you guys couldn't have watched a better basketball game or a better basketball team.
It's okay. We
Or a
had
better
dinner
coach.
and good company. Yeah, I mean, the first half was exciting. The men were up by 10 in the first half and kind of blew that lead. I think it's kind of the story of the season. It seems like every game they're okay in the first half and then blow a lead in the second half. And Markel Fultz can't do it all. I mean, he's a heck of a player, but it's kind of like PLU men's basketball. You figure out one player, and it's easier to stop. You need someone else to be consistent in the starting five. USC went on to win that game. One of the big differences I found too, speaking of depth, UW only had one bench point from that USC game, compared to USC's 26 points off the bench. So
it sounds familiar, doesn't it, Drew?
Yeah, it sounds really familiar.
It makes it hard to win a basketball game when you don't have many people producing. Then I was able to watch the UW game against Colorado, who's a little bit better of a team, and Markel Fultz was actually out that game due to a knee injury. So you saw some other players step up. David Crisp tried to get a spark in there. He had 17 points for the Dogs as Dickerson went 5 for 8 from the field and hit a couple free throws to have 14 points. Those were the two leading scorers. If we're picking favorite players, though, guys, I got to go with Dan Kingma because I was watching. I'm a sucker for
you must
hustle
have been watching
players.
the end of the game.
No, because
really?
no. Well, no. I realize he doesn't get minutes, but because
DJ's out here with just wow.
Listen, because Fultz was out that game, Dan Kingma had 20 plus minutes. He's so fun to watch because he's that player that no matter what, you're going to get heart and hustle out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he reminds me a lot of Brandon Lester because he is undersized, and obviously he's playing at the D1 level, which is even bigger men out there.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the guy that's going to dive on the floor. He was 2 for 2 from three-pointer, and I think had a couple assists. So he's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Just watching. I mean, I really haven't been following, to be honest, UW basketball that closely. I was at the beginning of the year, and I just realized it was going to be.
Did you realize Drew was right about everything and they were going to be terrible no matter how many number one picks they have?
I don't think I'll give you that much credit, but no, they just, like, I'll get notifications on my phone like, hey, they're up at half, and I'll think about tuning in, but then I'll realize, like, no, they'll probably lose it in the second half. And especially watching that USC game, like, I really saw it firsthand. They couldn't score. They became stagnant on offense. It was just ISO basketball. And then defensively, they weren't out, like, they weren't hustling and they weren't rebounding. USC pretty much wiped the floor with UW's butts. And but I guess since we are picking a player, I'm going to go Noah Dickerson. I think I could just go down the roster and list stats because none of them have really been too great. I mean, Fultz really hasn't impressed me that much, to be honest, either.
Wow.
Like he was out the last 2 games and it was the same result, a loss by 20.
Yeah, so he doesn't make it. Essentially doesn't make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Then. You could be the number one player in the draft, but if you're not helping your same result when you're out, that's
exactly.
a good point.
But since we are choosing a player, I went Noah Dickerson. He's averaging 11.2 points right now and 7.9 rebounds per game. Just pretty mediocre average numbers. But, I mean, I'll toss it over to Drew, the basketball analyst, and see what he has to say.
They've lost 7 in a row. They're 2-11 in conference.
Pathetic.
They have a winning percentage of .154. They can't win a game on the road. at 1-8. And let me they've given up 103, 98, 88, 86, 98, 87, 94, 86, 107, 85. Someone see a problem here?
Yep.
I mean, if you're struggling to put the ball in the hoop and your best scorers on the bench are hurt or whatever problems that Markelle Fultz is currently having, and David Crisp can't put the ball in the net and can only score like 20 points on 26 shots, you're going to have issues. You better defend. And if you can't defend, you're going to be in a ton of trouble.
Yep.
And they've consistently been in a ton of trouble. And DJ, you could not be more right. It's isolation, NBA basketball, roll the ball out, do whatever you want. There's no system. That's why they lose.
Yep.
I mean, Utah blew them out by 25, and they're 6th in the Pac-12.
Yep.
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't even want to pick a player because there's not a player worthy enough to pick.
Like I said, you could just go down the roster and list somebody and like, oh, cool. Like, you're so indifferent about it. Like, you don't really care at this point.
It's going to be great. They're going to have the first overall pick this year. They're going to have the first overall pick next year after Michael Porter Jr. leaves. And they're going to get the next Porter brother. And they're going to get it doesn't really matter. Yeah. They're still going to be absolutely terrible. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
I think maybe next year could be the year where they're better. I want to say, like, win the Pac-12, but they got top, like...
Win the Pac-12 from being
one of...
No, I said not... No. Maybe not win the Pac-12, but they have 5 top 100 players coming in. Well, 4 right now.
I really hate to say
Porter comes in. What?
It doesn't really matter. They can recruit like anybody, but they can't coach, so it doesn't matter. I guarantee you they don't play over 500 ball next year. I guarantee it.
I might have to disagree with you on
excited
that
to
one.
see
Because if you
how
have,
that rolls out.
like, this class, we only had Fultz come in and then a bunch of other nobodies. But if you have 5 top 100 players coming in, I think that could make a difference.
Well,
especially in today's world of college basketball.
They just have to learn to play together. I mean, it can't be this one-on-one.
And they're all from Seattle.
That requires coaching.
Yeah.
Which is non-existent.
Maybe they might